Up next, we've got Regina Aquino. She's a Filipino actor, activist, and the first Filipino-American to win the Helen Hayes Award. Born and raised in Maryland, she's performed in Manila and on many of DC's stages, like the Kennedy Center and the Lincoln Center in New York City. And beginning in June, Regina will be performing in a play at Roundhouse Theater, which can be streamed online from June 14th to July 11th. Regina Aquino.
Thank you for joining us today, and thank you to the organizers of this rally for bringing us all together. I would like to honor the soldiers and military today, Memorial Day, and thank them for their service. I would like to especially honor my grandfather, Rafael Consing Aquino, and all other Filipinos who assisted the U.S. Army during World War II, who were denied citizenship, pay, and honors that were owed to them until decades later, and most of whom were only bestowed the Congressional Medal of Valor posthumously beginning in 2017. May their brave souls rest in peace. I humbly thank them for their service. Thank you. My name is Regina Aquino. I was born in Maryland to a single immigrant Filipino mother. She was young, still a teenager, and in fact rode the Metro bus pregnant from Clinton to GW University for hotel and restaurant management school. She had her whole life ahead of her, and with the support of her family, she raised me while beginning a career that she successfully runs to this day. Growing up, I remember feeling left out from just about everything. I was an only child, a brown child, in rural suburbs without a father, raised by women and extended family and nannies who spoke another language that I didn't understand. I was surrounded by white, middle-class, nuclear families. Families with siblings, families with fathers. And as I grew up, I believed that there was something wrong with me and my family because I didn't know anyone who lived like us. I didn't see us on the television or in movies. So from a very young age, for as long as I can remember, white American patriarchal society told me that I came from a broken home. My home was broken, and I grew up believing that my home, my family, that I was broken. And I wanted so much to be white, to have a father and siblings, to be unbroken. And that internalized self-loathing informed my decisions about my career, how I dressed, the music that I listened to, who I should date, where I should live, what I should strive for. How could I fix myself? How could I be normal, unbroken? But as I got older and learned more, I began to see that I was not alone. I began to see the truth, that I was part of the global majority, and that a powerful, wealthy, armed, white minority was controlling the narrative of the entire world. I began to understand the violence of imperialism, of colonialism. I began to see the violence of whiteness, not just in the constant racial discrimination and oppression around us in our history and in our daily news, but within myself. I began to see my self-loathing for what it was, internalized white supremacy. I began to learn that the indigenous knowledge in my blood was more powerful than any Spanish colonizer who came to force servitude and religion on my mother's country and people, even though we still bear their name to this day as a country. I began to see how the colonizers erased our culture to depower us and control us and exploit us in order to line their pockets with money. And now I see that I wasn't broken, that my family was not broken. I am not broken. White colonial patriarchy is what seeks to break me, but it failed because I am resilient and powerful, because I was raised by a village. I was given tools and lessons that the nuclear family robs of human beings. So I am taking back my narrative and sharing the truth. Growing up the way that I did, I learned that women are powerful and capable, caring, infinitely wise, and can do absolutely anything they want to on their own, which has fueled my career and my choices as a mother. Growing up the way that I did, I learned lessons from people of all ages and demographics, from my grandparents who cared for me every summer, from my cousins both here and in Manila, from my yayas and nannies who kept me safe and made sure I did my homework, and who fed me the most heartwarming Filipino food that nourishes my soul to this day. Growing up the way that I did, I got to regularly travel to another country where I was exposed to cultures and languages and ways of living that are not American, and I learned how to decenter myself. I learned that the US was not the center of the universe, and that was deeply fallible. I might not have learned those things if I were normal or unbroken. I am seeing now that our indigenous tribes had it right for thousands of years. It takes a village to raise a well-rounded, open-minded, compassionate, just human being. This is how families for the global majority are all over the world, including here in the US. The narrative of the isolated, standalone, white, patriarchal, land-owning family as an ideal is a lie. It truly takes a village. I am proudly village raised, led by my mother, who is here today, my aunties, my lolas, my yayas, and I see now that you are also the village that has helped raise me. You are the village that is raising my children. We can rise together in solidarity and push back against the narratives and people that tell us we are less than, because we do belong. We deserve equality and justice. I need you, my village. My children need you. We can move forward together. Solidarity is the only way. And solidarity doesn't just mean standing with the Asian race and its ethnicities. Solidarity must include standing with our Black, Indigenous, and Brown siblings. Solidarity must include standing with our trans and LGBTQ siblings, our disabled siblings. Solidarity is intersectional because none of us are liberated until all of us are liberated. That's what our Filipino-American rallying cry means. Isang bagsak means all fall as one. So let us all take back our narratives. Let us celebrate our village. Let us confront the white supremacy and patriarchy we see in the world and within ourselves. Let us confront the anti-Blackness, transphobia, and homophobia when we see it in the world and within ourselves. It will be hard sometimes because white supremacy is insidious, but I believe in us. Filipinos, mga kababayan, let us look upon our tribal history with love and honor. Let us try to rediscover what was stolen from us and celebrate our deep brown skin, our large, loud families, our pre-colonial culture. We have existed for thousands of years. We have resisted, we have survived. Now, let us join our Asian, Black, trans, Indigenous siblings, and white allies throughout the US and the world so that we may finally, rightfully thrive. Isang bagsak! Salamat sa lahat, sa lahat sa inyo. At salamat, Mami. Salamat. Salamat.
Thank you, Regina. Up next, we have just